Welcome to G Fun Facts Online. Today, we are documenting a massive shift in the technological landscape. For the last few years, we have lived in the era of the passive chatbot. We have marveled at generative AI's ability to write poetry, debug code, and summarize emails. But as impressive as tools like ChatGPT or Claude are, they share a fundamental limitation. They are reactive. They wait for you to type a prompt, and the moment they hit enter, they stop working. They are brilliant, but they are stationary. Now, that era is ending. We are moving from AI that talks to AI that acts. Welcome to the age of Agentic AI. These are not just tools you use. They are digital coworkers that you collaborate with. They don't just answer questions. They pursue goals, execute multi-step workflows, reason through roadblocks, and use software on your behalf. They are the difference between a smart encyclopedia and a proactive executive assistant. In this episode, we are going to explore the rise of Agentic AI, the anatomy of how it works, the industries it is transforming right now, and the complex ethical landscape we must navigate as our software begins to have agency. To understand this revolution, we first need to draw a clear line between the generative AI we have grown accustomed to and this new wave of Agentic AI. Think of standard generative AI as a librarian. You walk up to the desk and ask a question. The librarian searches their vast database of training data and gives you an answer. It is static and contained. If you ask a librarian to book you a flight to London, they might write you a polite email template to send to a travel agent, or give you a list of airlines, but they cannot actually leave the desk to make the booking. They have knowledge, but no hands. Agentic AI, on the other hand, is the travel agent. If you give it a goal, like find me a flight to London under $800 next Tuesday and add it to my calendar, it doesn't just talk about it, it acts. The agent autonomously breaks this high-level goal into steps. It searches for flights. It compares prices across different websites. It navigates the booking portal. It uses your credit card details securely. And finally, it updates your Outlook calendar. It has agency, the capacity to act on the world, to change the state of things. So what makes this possible? An AI agent isn't just a large language model floating in a void. It is a system composed of four critical pillars. First, you have the brain. This is the large language model, the core reasoning engine that plans tasks and understands language. Second, you have the tools, or the hands. These are the interfaces that allow the AI to interact with the outside world. This could be a web browser, a calculator, a code interpreter, a CRM like Salesforce, or a communication platform like Slack. Third, there is memory. Unlike a standard chatbot that might forget what you said 5 minutes ago once the context window closes, agents possess distinct types of memory. They have short-term memory for the current task at hand, and long-term memory to recall your preferences, past projects, and company policies. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, there is planning. This is the ability to think before acting. An agent can create a checklist, execute step 1, observe the result, and if that step fails, it can reason through the roadblock and try a different approach for step 2. This technology didn't just appear overnight. The journey to digital coworkers has been marked by distinct evolutionary phases. Phase 1 was the era of rule-based chatbots. Think of the old customer service bots, where you had to press 1 for sales. These were rigid scripts that broke the moment you went off menu. They had zero intelligence and zero agency. Phase 2 was conversational AI, the era of Siri and Alexa. They were better at understanding natural language, but they were limited to simple, predefined commands. They could set a timer, but they couldn't manage a project. Phase 3 is where we have been recently, the copilot era. This is the human-in-the-loop model. You type code, and the AI suggests the next line. You write an email, and the AI polishes it. You are the pilot. The AI is the helpful navigator. But now, we are entering Phase 4, digital coworkers, or the agentic era. This is a human-on-the-loop model. You assign a high-level outcome. The AI acts as an autonomous colleague, performing work for hours or even days, only pinging you for review or when it hits a critical blocker. Let's look under the hood. How does software actually think and act? Several breakthrough technologies have converged to make this possible. The first is a technique called chain-of-thought reasoning. Agents use this to break complex problems into manageable chunks. If you give an agent a vague request, like research our competitors' pricing, the agent doesn't just guess. It internally monologues. It thinks, first, I need to identify the competitor. Second, I will visit their website. Third, if pricing isn't public, I will look for third-party reviews. Finally, I will compile this into a table. This internal step-by-step reasoning allows it to handle ambiguity. The second key technology is tool use, also known as function calling. This is the bridge between the AI brain and traditional software. Developers give the AI a menu of functions it can call, such as send email, query database, or create ticket. The AI writes the code to trigger these functions, effectively pressing buttons in other software, just like a human would. The third and most powerful development is multi-agent systems, or swarm intelligence. The most advanced applications don't rely on one super smart agent. They use a team. Imagine a software development team composed entirely of AI. You have Agent A, acting as the product manager, writing the specifications. Agent B is the coder, writing the Python script. And Agent C is the reviewer, checking the code for bugs and security flaws. If Agent C finds a bug, it sends it back to Agent B to fix. They loop until the task is done, with the human only reviewing the final result. This isn't just theory. Agentic AI is moving from research labs to enterprise production environments. Digital coworkers are already reshaping industries. In healthcare, burnout is a crisis driven largely by paperwork. Agentic AI is stepping in as an autonomous medical scribe and billing specialist. Imagine a doctor finishing a consult. The agent listens to the audio, transcribes it, extracts the specific medical codes, cross-references the patient's insurance policy to ensure coverage, and submits the prior authorization request to the insurance portal autonomously. In software engineering, startups like Devon and open-source projects like OpenDevon are proving that I can be a fully autonomous developer. If a GitHub issue is flagged saying the login page crashes on mobile, the agent reads the issue, reproduces the bug, scans the codebase to find the error, writes a fix, runs the unit tests to ensure it didn't break anything else, and submits a pull request for a human engineer to merge. In finance, agents act as 24/7 analysts. A hedge fund manager can task an agent to track market sentiment. The agent scrapes thousands of news articles and earnings call transcripts in real time, performs sentiment analysis, detects anomalies such as a CEO sounding nervous, and drafts a risk report every morning before the market opens. In supply chain, agents act as logistics coordinators. If a shipment of parts is delayed due to a storm in the Pacific, the agent detects the delay via API, checks inventory levels to predict a stockout, identifies an alternative supplier in Mexico, negotiates a preliminary price via email within preset limits, and presents the solution to the procurement manager for one-click approval. Implementing this technology requires a shift in mindset. You don't just install Agentic AI, I like you install Microsoft Word. It is more like hiring a new employee. Companies are finding they need to onboard these agents. This creates a new kind of HR for AI. You must define the agent's job description. What is it allowed to do? What is its budget? You must establish access control. Just like you wouldn't give a summer intern the keys to the server room, agents are given least privilege access, only the tools they strictly need. And you need performance reviews. How do you know if your AI agent is doing a good job? Companies are developing metrics for agent success, tracking accuracy rates, cost per task, and how often a human has to intervene. Working with an agent requires you to stop prompting and start delegating. The old way was asking an AI to draft an email. The agentic way is telling the AI to manage the client renewal process, review their usage data, draft a personalized proposal, send it, and follow up if they don't reply in 3 days. However, the road to full autonomy is paved with significant hurdles. The first is the risk of hallucination in action. When a chatbot hallucinates, you get a weird essay. When an agent hallucinates, it might delete a production database or buy 1,000 non-refundable tickets. The stakes are infinitely higher when AI can click buttons. This is known as the probabilistic execution problem. Traditional software is deterministic. Input A always leads to output B. AI is probabilistic. Input A probably leads to output B. That probably carries risk. Then there is the infinite loop nightmare. Agents can sometimes get stuck in reasoning loops. An agent tasked with fixing a bug might try a fix, see it fail, try the same fix again, and repeat this thousands of times, burning through API credits and money in minutes. There are also multi-agent deadlocks, where Agent A waits for Agent B to finish, while Agent B is waiting for Agent A, causing bureaucratic gridlock inside the server. As we grant software the power to act, we also face profound ethical and legal questions. There is a massive liability gap. If an autonomous financial agent makes a trade that loses $1 million, who is responsible? Is it the developer who wrote the code, the company that deployed the agent, or the human manager who approved the agent's budget? Current laws are ill-equipped to handle digital employees that make independent decisions. There is also the question of job displacement versus augmentation. The term digital coworker is comforting, but it implies replacement. While history shows technology creates more jobs than it destroys, the transition period can be painful. Roles heavily reliant on routine cognitive tasks like data entry or Tier 1 customer support are at risk, while roles requiring high-level strategy and AI orchestration, the skill of managing a team of AI agents, will rise in value. Furthermore, there is the risk of bias at scale. If an agent is used to filter job applicants and it was trained on biased data, it won't just suggest biased candidates. It will autonomously reject qualified people at a scale human recruiters never could. Operationalizing bias is a massive risk in agentic systems. Looking forward, we are heading toward an agentic economy. This is a world where software buys services from other software. Imagine a future where your personal assistant agent negotiates your internet bill with the ISP's sales agent, or where a travel agent software autonomously hires a research agent to find the best hotels. This shift will fundamentally change the internet. Websites will change from being designed for human eyeballs, with images and layouts, to being designed for agent readability, with clean APIs and structured data. Agentic AI represents the most significant leap in software utility since the internet itself. It promises to liberate us from the drudgery of digital chores, freeing humans to focus on creativity, strategy, and connection. However, the transition requires caution. We must build these systems with guardrails, not just capabilities. We need human-in-the-loop oversight for high-stakes decisions. We must treat these digital coworkers not as magic wands, but as powerful emerging technologies that require management, governance, and respect. The digital coworkers are here. The question is no longer what can AI say, but what can we achieve together? Thanks for listening to G Fun Facts Online.